We'll continue with questions for Jamie. If you have one for Jamie, please raise your hand and state your name and affiliation, and we'll start with Stan and then move to Nick. Go ahead, Stan. Oh, sorry.
Hey, Jamie. Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. How good was your setup from a rainy day, when you really didn't get to use it and the track got all washed out? Was the setup still good for you? Or was it a lot of work to get to where you got to today?
We didn't change a tremendous amount. We actually practiced in the exact same weather as this, so it was the first time that practice kind of made sense. That, typically you practice in the day here and then we race at night, and it's somewhat of a crapshoot to guess of what you're going to need when the sun goes down. But I thought in practice we had a top 5 car. It actually seemed like in practice that it took off faster than most and then fell off. So they made some adjustments to the setup before the race today, and it was kind of the opposite. Just couldn't take off on new tires, but it was just extremely good on old tires. So the fact that we had a couple of those really long green flag runs helped me.
All right, go ahead.
Nicholas Vanderlock, Northern Neck News. Jamie, 3 top 4 finishes in the last 4 races here at Richmond. What is it about this track that makes you guys so good here, and what can you take from this track potentially and translate it to success on other venues?
This side, I don't really view this as a good track for me. It's interesting to hear that. We just have had good cars. Our short track program this year, we ran really well at Phoenix, ran well at Bristol. We blew a tire with just, 20 laps to go. Running in the top 5, and then ran really well today. So our whole program is really good. It just seems like our short track program is a little bit better than the mile and a half right now.
All right, we'll go to the back. Go ahead.
Jamie, Mark Davis, NBC 12 here in Richmond in the back here. Just wanted to get your comment on Kurt's performance tonight. Once he took the lead, led 291 laps, and he seemed to have a pretty dominant car out there. Just wanted to hear your thoughts from a guy who finished close behind.
Well, Kurt had what you needed to win today. I could run him down by the end of the green flag runs, but he had such a quick car on restarts, and I got 3 shots at him on the outside. They kept throwing the caution, and I tried something a little different each time to see if I could get him to spin his tires or make a mistake, and he didn't make any mistakes. He did an awesome job today, and I tried pinching him off into turn 1 to see if I can get him loose. I tried everything, and he just had a really good car, especially on the short run. And looking back now, even if I could have gotten in front of Kurt, I think his car was enough better than mine on the short run that I don't know that I could have held him up.
All right, we'll come back up front for Jim, please.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. You guys, particularly you, seem to be inching ever so closer to victory lane. How close do you feel? Do you feel like you could win any week right now, or how close do you feel?
Last year I thought was probably my best year in Cup racing. Even though we didn't have the wins that we did in 2010, I thought consistently we were the best. And when we had this crew chief change, I was a little bit nervous about what was going to happen. But Matt has done an exceptional job, and honestly, our cars are probably better, or are better this year than what they were last year. And he's done a really nice job of calling the races and giving me a really fun car to drive that's fast. I honestly look at every week like we'll have a chance to win. The 4 and the 41 are extremely quick, but I think we proved today that we have a team and a car capable of putting in the right position to compete with those guys. So I'm really happy with my team. The 42 ran well last week at Bristol. Our whole group is really strong right now. We just have to, and we're doing it this year. We're getting the results of kind of where we've ran, and that was one of my goals in the off season, was to finish better than where I ran in the race, and that's hard to do. And I mean when I look at Kevin and Jimmy Johnson and a lot of those guys, they tend to do that. They tend to run or finish just a little bit better than where they ran in the race, and I didn't do that last year. So we've done a really good job of being able to do that this year.
All right, Hank, do you have a question as well?
When you passed for the lead, did you think you'd done it too soon, or did you think it was temporary because his car was so much better?
No, I didn't think I did it too soon. I mean, I was actually, we were quite a bit quicker than those guys were on old tires, and was actually just trying to pull as big of a gap as I could so that you could still come out in the lead after, because I knew we were going to pit in the next 10 or 15 laps. And I thought if I can get a 2 or 3 second lead, I'll come out ahead of him after, from the pit stop. We had a I don't know what happened on our pit stop when we did a green flag stop, but he ended up actually coming out in front of us. And actually, he came out in front of the 2 as well, which kept him on the lead lap, and we were a lap down. No, I mean, when I look back at our race today, you go home and lay down tonight and you think about everything. I really there's nothing that I could have done any better. I didn't have a car that was quick on the short run. I had one that would go on at the end, and so when I look back at those restarts, I mean, if I could have gotten ahead of him, I still don't know that I could have held him up. So no, I thought as a group, team, driver, crew chief, I thought we all did a really good job today.
All right. Any final questions for Jamie? Okay, we have one more. Go ahead.
Camden Lazenby, the Tartan. Jamie, you said you had one set of tires that were inconsistent. Kevin said a similar thing. Are you a fan of the multi-zone tires Goodyear's brought to Richmond?
I mean, I think it's listen, when you ask about tires, when you ask all 43 guys, I think you'll see some guys that like the tire we had last spring, and some guys that like the tire we had last fall, some guys are going to like this. I was a big fan of what we had last fall because it laid a lot of rubber down, and you could see guys run all the way against, as high as they could run and as low as they could run. And to me, that is really good racing when you have a lot of options. Today, the bottom was definitely the place to be. You could somewhat make the middle work. But, the biggest frustration with tires is you adjust on your car and you hope that when you put the next set on that they're the same. And they're not always, and so then you don't know, is your adjustment off, did the track change, or are the tires a little bit off? So it's there's just a lot of unknowns there. I feel confident that we got at least one bad set though, because I restarted last and drove up to like 12th, and super quick, car felt great, and we didn't change anything and put another set of tires on, and I was struggling to maintain where I was. So that's the easiest thing to blame it on, and it kind of is what it is.
All right. Any final questions for Jamie? Jamie, congratulations on a great run. We appreciate your time this afternoon.